Hello and welcome to Rusty Gaines. I am Mr. Gaines and this is a Rusty Gaines tutorial. Today we're going to talk about the auto sorting system. Hopefully I explain it properly and you gain some knowledge on how this is done. Now I'm sure if you're here watching this video, you have watched other videos, and one thing in common with pretty much all the videos is you'll see this and something similar to this. This is a splitter tree. This is a combiner tree. Now these two items I feel like make the whole system complicated, and they are completely unnecessary. They take up wall space, and each one of these will hook up to one of the storage boxes. So you're going to have pipes all over the place, which again makes it look more complicated than what it really is. So we're going to eliminate this and this because this feeds the system, and then this is a return. The return is just not necessary. There's no need for you to have a return. So this is just eliminated altogether. This is mostly eliminated, and I will show you in just 1 second. Okay, and if we come over here, here is a fully functional organizing system or auto sorting system. Basically, you put items in this drop box. They feed from the storage adapter into the first splitter. That splits off to this box and to this box, and then so on. And like this whole system, instead of being on the floor, you can put it on the ceiling. For example, you can just set it up here on the ceiling. That way it's out of the way. You're not walking all over it, and it's not causing you to trip and just being a pain in the butt. And you're not taking up wall space, precious wall space. Now everything you need is in the tier 1 tech tree. You are going to need a small battery, 2 solar panels, a storage adapter for every single box, a conveyor, industrial conveyor for every single category or every box. You're going to need the industrial splitter, the industrial combiner, a root combiner, and the electrical branch. And that's basically it. Now, if you want, you can add a switch, which is, where's the switch? I don't see, oh, it's the first one. You can add a switch to the whole system to switch it on and off. So basically every box will have a storage adapter. And then as you can see the feed, as it feeds in to every splitter, and then you have a industrial conveyor that feeds from the splitter into the storage adapter of the box, the storage box. Now the key is the industrial conveyors. These will feed each one of your storage boxes, and they basically determine what goes into each box through the filter. If you hold down E and go to change item filters, you can type in, let's say you want the AK to go into there. So you hit that and hit add. Now AKs will go into here. Although you do have broad categories, and it's basically, when you go to crafting, you have your construction items, all those as one category. Resources, that's all a category. Now, there's kind of an issue with that. You go into the administrator or the F1 console and you select items. This is where all the items go to. So all your weapons, all of these items is a category. Your construction items, that's the next one. This is called deployables under the filter. BP deployables. Resources are all one category. Now, I have a problem with this category because, like CCTV, targeting computers, to me, that should be in electronics. And then things like, empty cans of bean cans and tuna cans, I don't feel like that should go in this category. I think like water and ore, stone, scrap, that should go in this category, of course. Low grade, diesel, crude oil, but things like, the battery, that should go in electronics. So I always try to steer away from not using the broad category of resources. What I'll do is I will specify that I want ore to go into this box, which you will have to go in here and manually type every single one of them. So, frags. I want metal frags. I want metal ore. Now you can do this up to 12 items. So you need to really watch how many items you add, because you can't add more than 12, which kind of sucks, but I understand. So what we have here is every box is one of these categories, and attire is clothing, of course. Now, the electrical, every single one of these has an input and an electrical pass-through. So you can take your power from the battery or the branch and put it in the first one, and then just daisy chain all the rest of them together. And each one of these takes 1 rust watt. So with this system, we have 14 boxes, we need 14 rust watts. This whole system can be set up with a single small battery. You can do just 1 solar panel, but I would recommend 2. And you need a combiner with 2 solar panels, and then a power or electrical branch. Now with the electrical branch, you'll have to configure it. If you have 10 boxes, then you have to configure this to 10. Since we have 14, then we need to configure it to 14. Because if you see, all of these are on, that's on, but then the rest of them are off, just because we have 10 and we have 4 more that don't get power because we need to select 14. Now the small battery only puts out 15 rust watts, but this electrical branch uses 1 rust watt, so you have 14 remaining. So this whole system can be set up with just a small battery and 0 power left over. Now you do have an active usage of 14, so So at night, you will not have any power coming in, but as you can see, there's 28 minutes of charge time. So that's plenty of time for the night to go through and it become day again. This would be called your drop box, and you can have multiple drop boxes. Like we can connect over to this one, and then you can connect this drop box to this one. So inside this box, we have some items, and once we connect that, it will automatically draw them to this one, and then it will filter through all the industrial conveyors. Nice. A bear and a pig over there. Which one will win? Did the bear win? Yeah. Sorry, little guy. Anyway, I forget what I was saying. So if you have like a big Zerg base or whatever with multiple gate houses, you can have a drop box at each gate and then daisy chain them together, or you can use a combiner make that green. Then you select do that. Then this box connects to there. And let's add one over here. Oh, on the output, and now we have 3 drop boxes all connected to the system. Let's grab some stuff. AK, some doors, deployables, some ore. We drop all this stuff in this box. And you will see it slowly being dropped through and filtered into the system. Then the AK should end up in here. There's one. And the second one should... Oh, it's still in my inventory. Second one. Let's try that again. And they should end up in here. There we go. Because this is the weapons box. So it is really simple. Again, you don't need this whole thing and then having pipes going to every single box. You can just simplify it by putting these splitters along the ceiling, the floor. You could also, if your boxes are here, you can put the splitter up there or up on the ceiling there, or you can do, like I said, just put all of this on the ceiling instead of the floor. Just makes things way simpler. And you don't need a return. I don't know why a lot of the videos has the return. You don't need that. Now, if you are feeding, let's say, furnaces, then yes, you use that return, or it's not really a return, it's the output to the furnace. Then the furnace output would come back into the drop box or one of these. It would feed into here and then go back through the system. Now here, over here, I have a proof of concept. This is a honeycomb 2x2. Everything is really stuffed in here. I mean, it is really stuffed in here. We have 2 boxes down here. We got 2 up here, 3 down here, and 3 up top. And the one box that you can't reach on the top is my ore box. So when I drop ore into here, say 1,000, 1,000, I'm going to drop that into there, and then the wood and stone will go into this box. I have the wood separate just because I might want to have access to that, but I have no need to have access to this. Now this will automatically feed into my furnaces, and I used to have a igniter. I don't know what happened to it. That feeds into here, maybe. Filter pass. There we go. All right, and this should kick on here soon. There we go. So what happened here is I threw everything into the drop box. It all filtered into the correct boxes. The wood went into this box, and then these conveyors would suck out the ore from the ore box, which is on top and the back, and the wood from the wood stone box, and it loaded up the furnaces, and then the igniter would kick on and ignite the furnaces. Then I also have industrial crafters set up to automatically craft bandages and gunpowder and 5.56 and med pens. And then all those get filtered into the correct location. 5.56 comes into the gun box. Where the meds go, over here into the clothing and med box. So now everything is automated. I hope I didn't go too fast and everything makes sense. But this is just a proof of concept. I've got 3 batteries and 6 solar panels to power all of this. I would like to have one big battery, but the 2x2 is just way too small to fit all of this stuff in here with a big battery. So I have 3 small ones. And all the piping in that is just, it's a mess. It's not pretty, but you know, it all works. It was really difficult to squeeze all that into that tiny 2x2. So here in a 3x3, this would be good for a solo, but I think it's a bit too much for a solo. but a 2x2 just seems a bit too small for a solo. This would be good for a duo, trio, even 4 people. So anyway, here we have our TC room, then we have our spot for our loot boxes. We have our tier 1, 2, and 3, our furnaces, then this would be your drop box. And I do have a big battery right here in the honeycomb. So we're going to build this system. That way I can show you every single step on how it's done. But I think this right here really explains it really well. Every box has to have the storage adapter and a conveyor, and then your drop box will connect directly into the first splitter, and then the 2 conveyors will split off to the 2 boxes, and so on. And this is like the tree. So this is the trunk, and then these are all the limbs that go off. And again, there's no need for a return, the output. There's no need for that, just because the specified item, your food, is going to be drawn into this box. Where else would it go? Why do you need to have a return back into the system? Now, in some cases, that's not true, but that's when you get into more complex system, like the auto crafting and feeding the furnaces. But even then, you don't need a return for every single box. You only need a return for whatever you're feeding. Like, let's say you're feeding the furnaces. Well, then your resource box, I think it's this one. Oh, resource, the one right before. Yes, your resource box will have all of the ore, and then that ore will feed into the furnace, and then everything that is cooked or smelted will return back into the tree and then feed back into your box. But what I like to do is I like to separate my uncooked with my cooked ore, separate the two. But again, it's all up to you. It's all at your discretion. And there's going to be circumstances where it just makes it easier to add multiple items to the same box. I'll give you an example here. So, let's turn that off. This box, I got low grade, I've got cloth, charcoal, and then of course all my cooked items go into that box. And then the reason I put low grade and cloth in the same one, because the med pens require cloth and low grade, and of course the metal frags. So it's easier just to set a conveyor to pull these 3 items from the same box than it would be to have, like for instance, 2 separate conveyors pulling from 2 different boxes to feed into the same, the same system, feed into like the same crafter. It's easier just to have one conveyor. It's less power and it's less piping. But as you can see, all the piping is a complete mess. but it works. And it looks complicated just because there's so much going on. But if you work on one thing at a time, and once you're done doing this one, then you move on to the next one. Yeah, the pipes may look confusing, but it's not. It's really not. Okay, we're gonna go back over here and we are going to build the system here in a 3x3 just because it's a little bit bigger and so everything won't be so squashed, and I can show you every single little step on how to do it. But I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to milk this series for every view I can possibly get. So in the next episode, we are going to build this system step by step. You can see how it works, see how it's done, and that way you get a better idea of how to do it instead of just, me showing you this example over here and this example. We're going to go through every single step on how to do it and build it completely. And then we're going to make a video on smelting, the auto smelting system. And then we'll have a video on the auto crafting system. So please stick around, please subscribe. I'm going to put these videos out hopefully the next 3 days in a row. So there shouldn't be any delay between each video. But again, I'm going to milk this for every view I can get. Sorry. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I appreciate you all. I will see you all in the next video.